Hello there. Picture this tranquil town, Eldridge, where nothing much occurs. Now imagine this mystery circus appearing, promising an exciting night beneath the Crimson Circus tent. What the people in town didn't realize was that this circus wasn't only for fun, it also harbored some sinister secrets. Come along with me as we investigate Eldridge's eerie mystery. We'll go under the old Crimson Circus tent, where pleasure and horror blend and clown laughter gives you the chills. Stick with me to the finish. The twisted narrative lurking behind that enormous top is something else. As the sun sank, the Crimson Circus pitched its frightening tent on the outskirts of town. The air became strangely tight as a frigid breeze blew through the night. People gathered outside, driven by curiosity and nostalgia, their faces lit up with expectation. Emily, a teenage photographer who enjoyed photographing strange subjects, was among the attendees. She was intrigued by the circus and wanted to document the evening with her old camera. When she went within the tent, everything changed. A peculiar silence took over, and the sounds from outside faded. Inside, the circus appeared worn down, with peeling paint and a lingering rotten odor. Emily ventured further, her camera clicking in the hush, until she found herself in the front row, facing the dimly illuminated stage. The lights abruptly came on, exposing a bunch of clowns standing in a half circle. Their painted features, once cheerful, now appeared twisted and scary. Emily felt a shiver as their gaze fixed on hers, and a strange tune resonated around the tent. The clowns began their show with a weird dance that defied conventional motions. Their movements were quick and frightening, punctuated by laughter that sent shivers through the crowd. Emily paused, caught between wanting to flee and documenting this unusual spectacle on video. As the act progressed, the laughter became a frightening symphony, drowning out any sensible ideas. Emily's camera clicked away, catching the clown's uncanny dance, but her unease intensified. The laughter grew louder and more crazy, eventually becoming a haunting song that resonated throughout the whole tent. The clowns abruptly froze, their once vibrant outfits turning grey and lifeless. A frightening murmur disturbed the quiet, as if it came from anywhere.
"Welcome to our world, Emily,"
the voice said softly. Emily, terrified, attempted to flee, but the exit was vanished. Panic came in as she wandered through the circus, which was suddenly deserted. The familiar surroundings transformed into a twisted maze, with the eerie tune following her every move. Emily turned the corner and confronted the lead clown, who had an absurdly broad grin. Its gaze fixed on her, and the muttered words returned.
"Emily, we feed on fear. Your fear."
In her attempt to flee, Emily tripped into the center ring. The circus turned into a nightmare, with walls closing in and the air heavy with blackness. The clowns closed in, their laughter reverberating in her head. In a final desperate moment, Emily found herself outside the tent. The Crimson Circus was gone. The townspeople resumed their celebrations, oblivious of the catastrophe. Emily gripped her camera, photographs of the nightmare she'd had. Emily's story evolved into a cautionary tale in Eldridge over time. The circus poster vanished, but the memory of the Crimson Circus remained, a disturbing warning that certain shows are best left unseen.